Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for the tickets. After living through Russiagate, and after living through COVID, and after living through the Ukraine war, the Syrian war, 20 years of Afghanistan, Libya, I am now doubting climate change, especially since I found out that how easily medical journals are corrupted, and they all are, and how they can corrupt doctors at the top and all the way down to your local doctor and pharmacy. They can control and corrupt them to where they wouldn't give you ivermectin. It's so I'm now like, I caught the editor of the British Medical Journal bullshitting and lying on Twitter myself. And I found out he was being funded by Big Pharma, and he was lying about COVID. He was lying. He wasn't getting it wrong. He was lying. And so now it's like, well, now I've figured out that, a research scientist, just like the proximal origins paper.
Oh, yeah. I worked in that story, yeah.
Yeah, so they said that there's definitely the virus came from a lab in Wuhan, and then Fauci throws a couple of $1 million in research funding, and they go, oh, no, it came from a wet market. And so, I'm sure you can buy off a climate scientist just as easily, right? And so are you not? I'm skeptical now, because all the predictions that people like Al Gore and John Kerry, they keep screaming at the top of their lungs how serious this is, and how there's not going to be any ice in the Arctic, and the coral reefs. And now the coral reefs are bigger than ever. None of their predictions have come through, and none of those people who claim to who are screaming the loudest about climate change ever call for the reduction in the biggest carbon emitter in the world, which is the U.S. military, 800 military bases around the world. When John Kerry and Al Gore says we have to shut down 800 military bases because climate change is that serious, I'll believe them. And when they say that, when Barack Obama says that the oceans are rising, and then he buys 2 oceans beachfront properties, I don't believe them. When Bill Gates says that climate change is the biggest serious threat, and then he takes a private jet to Davos and comes up with an idea to ban gas-powered lawnmowers, I don't believe them. So I certainly don't believe the people screaming the loudest about climate change. I'm wondering if someone like you is skeptical also.
Well, I'm skeptical of everything now. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that, but I'm rethinking everything that I thought, that I assumed for the last 30 years, because I'm shocked at the level, at the degree to which everybody is willing to lie to the public. I knew it was bad. I knew the media had serious problems. I've always known that. But I never knew it was this bad. And I think Russiagate was a big turning point for me. Like the idea of concocting, a completely fake story and sticking with it even after you've been caught, like that tells you how committed they are to certain things. So yeah, I think we all have to just re-examine everything. And but I'm sure some of it is true, but we have to check.
I agree with that. But what I'm sure of is that the remedies that they are prescribing are bullshit. That's what I'm sure. Just like, hey, let's all fly our private jet to Davos and let's ban gas-powered leaf blowers. Mark Zuckerberg just bought a 430-foot yacht, which is about 130 foot bigger than a football field, and he considers himself an environmentalist, and he cares about climate change, and his yacht is powered by 4 giant diesel engines, but he wants me to use an electric stove. Hey, fuck off. Fuck off. I'm not using an electric stove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what everybody's attitude should be. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We'll keep our own counsel on this stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's a good, healthy attitude, Jimmy.
Well, you've been very generous with your time. It's always great to talk with you. I'm a big admirer of your work. You've always been a hero of mine. I don't try not to have heroes because they always let you down. So I'm just waiting for you to do that. And everybody check out your Substack. Everybody check out your great podcast that you haven't figured out how to monetize yet, America This Week, with Walter Kern. And we look forward to more great reporting. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, Jimmy. And good luck and continued success with your show.
Okay, appreciate it. Right back at you. Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for the tickets.